Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. I think it's time for us to read some Reddit stories. Why don't we get started right away? I will be ranking some Reddit stories from Am I the A-hole forum. Basically, this is a forum where people ask their questions and people who have a lot of opinion, like me, tend to answer them. So I picked out really juicy ones. The first one is going to be, am I the a-hole for not telling my ex-wife that I have lived in a rental apartment? Huh? Okay. Back in 2008, I started university. I rented a two-bedroom apartment with my ex-girlfriend at the time and my friend and his girlfriend. Okay. We got a great deal for it as the owner of the place lost his job because of everything that has happened back then and decided to try her luck aboard where she still lives. Years went by, and after university, my friend and his girlfriend decided to find a place of their own. As we had full-time jobs, renting this apartment together did not seem expensive anymore, and also did not seem expensive to rent alone after we broke up sometime later. So there I was, alone in a two-bedroom apartment in the central part of the city. The owner decided that she was too lazy to mess with the bills and stuff every month and made arrangements for me to pay everything directly as I earned her trust. I still pay her monthly rent, which is very cheap for today, and deal with everything else having her authorization. Because of the perfect location, my second bedroom was basically free B&B for the friends who did not live in the city, and I did not mind. It is a good company if you live alone. In 2020, I met a girl who was in a rush to get married and I was madly in love. We did in 2021. For some reason, I never told her the story of how I rented the place or that it was a rental at all. It just never came up. I have been so used to the fact that I'm authorized representative with the building cooperative things, etc., that I refer to it as my place. Our relationship started to cool down. And we found that out we're not perfect for each other after all, so the worse it is. Okay. What a waste of money. A few days ago, I received an email from her with a real estate valuation document as an attachment while I was not home. She wasted 500 euros for someone to evaluate the apartment that does not belong to us, and wrote that I probably have to take a loan to pay her 50% of that. Girl. I replied to her, I didn't even tell her that this place is rental. Why does she even assume that I could afford a two-bedroom apartment in the city center? She knows where I work and how much I earn. She called and screamed at me. Okay. She's petty for that though. That I lied to her for years and hid the fact that the apartment was a rental. Then she tells me that, well, she will take the car that we got together. And I was quiet for a moment. I told her, do you know that is a lease, right? The owner of the car is the bank. Okay. Then she demanded that I pay for the valuation and I replied, I did not ask you to do it. She called me an asshole and ended the call. Of course, she told our whole friend group that I lied to her during the whole marriage. And then there was a discussion in a messenger group with friends that if it's a lie or not, whether what is an asshole thing to do. Some agree with me and some with her. My best friend told me that is a perfect topic for a Reddit thread. Now I ask you, Reddit, am I the a-hole? I am confused. This whole story is super confusing. I don't think you are the a-hole. I think you're just very used to this apartment. 2008 is a long time ago and I'm sure you just got used to the routine of paying for it and taking care of the bills, blah, blah, blah. I wonder why it never came to question while you guys were married. So it's weird that she was asking for that 50%. She was trying to get her buck, but like, it's weird. It's weird. Let's see what the comments say. Okay, the first comment by Corgi. It's odd that you didn't tell her, but also odd that it wasn't part of your conversation about life and who was paying for things and how and why and so on. Not the a-hole. Yes, definitely weird. And then the OP replies, she did cover 50% of the utility bills as she wanted to contribute. And it was no secret that I have been living there for a very long time. I just never spelled that it was a rental. So how, okay, I think I assumed I owned it because we did some maintenance there together that you normally don't do in a rental. Changed the wallpaper in the living room, and I got few appliances when old ones broke down. Yeah, I guess I understand from her point of view where she might think this is not a rental, but it is honestly really odd that you're not talking to each other about it while married. Weird. She was in a rush to get married per OP, so yeah, likely a setup, lol. If it was, definitely she deserved what she got, and even if it wasn't, the audacity to ask for OP's complete half assets after less than 5 years is ridiculous, and OP could probably get out of the via court anyway, depending on where he lives. It wouldn't be an asset that has been acquired together or during their marriage. Exactly. It's not even something that they acquired during the marriage. It was before, way before, even if it was his. Yeah, it is like this OP also mentions, I mean, it is weird that this never came up. If you get married, why wouldn't you talk about your assets in the engagement period and how you handle stuff going forward? She definitely could have asked too. She sounds not very bright, to be honest, since they didn't know what leased car isn't actually yours. Don't. Yeah. She doesn't seem really bright and she definitely wanted your apartment. I would say you are not the a-hole from a scale 10. 10 being very and 1 being not at all. I would say 3 because you should talk about your beliefs and stuff. Yeah. Next. This is another one from the Am I the a-hole? Am I the a-hole for moving across the country and telling my daughter that they are the reason that I am an absent grandparent? Juicy, let's see. So I have two grandkids that are 4 and 7. I live about 45 minutes away from them. At the beginning, I was still working, so it was hard to make time to visit. I would go up to visit them, and sadly, it was not fun. I'm not baby crazy and do not want to spend my whole day watching kids sleep. I get it. It's okay. Not everybody wants to be a grandpa or a grandma. So I would stay for 2 to 3 hours before going home. My daughter hated that I wouldn't spend more time, and I told her when they were older, we will bond more. I got in a car accident. It wasn't bad, but it was my fault. The sun got in my eyes, and I bumped into someone's car. In total, it was like $300 of damage since their car had dents in the back. It was a very minor accident. After that, my daughter forbade me for driving anywhere with her kids. So now when I go up, I cannot do anything with the kiddos. There's only so much that I could do in the house, and I would love to take them out to places. I have asked her to drive down since I live in a walkable area, but no. This is too difficult to get them loaded and down there. I still tried, but more she didn't want to visit me more. I get tired of this. Not to mention, she was always on me about not being more involved. What do you mean? Come on. You're having the difficulty. You're not allowing them to drive. You're not allowing yourself to drive. I don't get it. Why? I have told her so many times that you don't let me do much with them. My breaking point was last summer. I was babysitting them in the summer and I brought up kids sprinkler. You connected into the hose and the kids run around and splash pad. The kids had a great time, but my daughter was pissed since it ruined the grass. Girl, chill. Chill. They're kids. Let them have fun. The water made mud and kids running messed up the grass. After I just stopped trying, I told her to take the kids to me and she refused. I am retiring and selling my home. I wish to move near the Blue Mountains, which is across the country. I told all the kids and everyone was happy for me, but my daughter, we got into a huge fight about being a grandparent. I told her she was the reason I am absent, and then she called me. Listen, I think there is an issue between you and your daughter, some underlying issue that is causing this to happen, unfortunately. This was submitted 10 months ago, and I'm sorry, and I hope it's been resolved. You and your daughter need to go to therapy and speak to them about it because it looks like she does not trust you. Maybe it's because of the incident of the car, but I don't think so. Maybe it's just some grief that or anger that happened prior to this. You got to talk. You got to talk. Let's see what the comments say. And one more thing, I do also think that you did a good job for standing up for yourself. You do have to let people know that they're the problem of you not being there for their children. Not the a-hole. It's not that hard to get two kids in the car for 45 minutes. She just doesn't want to. I actually live in the base of Blue Mountain and my in-laws live near the airport. We go to visit them with our 7-year-old roughly once a fortnight. That's cute. Sometimes they come to us, but we like to go there and going looking at the beach. We have done this since little one was a baby. It's not hard. They just have the best adventures, can jump on a little rail, ferry, whatever, and go to different places. Good luck with your move. Exactly. Focus on your life. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You're not gonna force her. I'm sure the kids will be able to bond a little bit later when they're older, but she's not allowing and you can't really force her. Unfortunately, it's a problem that she has within herself or with you. You are not the a-hole. I'm giving you number 2 out of 10. Am I the a-hole for crying and my boyfriend for crying? You may be. Well, let's see. My boyfriend came to my place yesterday evening. I could tell he was exhausted from work. We were about to watch a movie, but he wanted to take a shower first. He came out a few minutes later and looked for something in his jacket. He kind of looked distraught. Suspicious. Okay. I asked him what's wrong and he started laughing while crying a bit. He said that he bought a Snickers and he couldn't find it, but he wanted to eat it now. Is he PMSing? Because I get it. He looked everywhere, but he didn't find it, and then he started breaking down a bit. And I know it sounds bad, but I started laughing a bit because the situation seemed so bizarre to me, and I've never seen him cry before. We're dating for 10 months now, and this was the first time I saw him crying, which was insane. But I think it's kind of the reason why I laughed a bit. Anyway, he looked at me while I laughed, and his face kind of dropped. Don't laugh at him. He put on his clothes and told me he would go home now. I wanted him to stay because we wanted to watch a movie, but he left anyway. Good for him. I tried texting him the whole night, but he didn't text back. I tried calling him, but he doesn't pick up. And I know that he has been online for an hour ago. I feel like he's mad at me, but maybe he needs some time for himself. But I feel like kind of bad for laughing. You should. You are the a-hole. Don't laugh. Okay, let's imagine a scenario. You are PMSing and you really need your chocolate or you're pregnant, like let's just imagine that, and you really want something and you cannot find it and you get really upset and you start tearing up because you really want it. I know it may be very, very childish for some people, but I really think if you really want it and looked forward for something for a long time and you can't find it, unfortunately, it's very disappointing. 9 out of 10. Let's see what the comments say. You are the a-hole. It wasn't the candy bar that he was crying over. That was just the thing that pushed it over the edge. He has something going on, something really affecting him, bothering him. He is at the point of that missing a candy bar finally set it off. You laughed at him. Exactly. I was just going to say that, but that's literally what it could be. Men bottle up any emotion other than anger, and this is why. We were ridiculed for expressing anything else. I have been dealing with a miserable work situation for nearly a year. I have days I want to come home and cry about it. It is absolutely soul crushing. I'm 55 years old. My generation had drilled into us that men don't cry. We suck it up and deal with it like a man. Thankfully, I have a very understanding, supportive wife now. The person I was with before was the one who would laugh and ridicule. She is now my ex-wife. I upload you, man. Sir, you are being uploaded. Not uploaded, uploaded. Yeah, don't laugh at men that cry. That's horrible. I really don't think anyone should laugh at someone who crying unless it's a happy cry. You are the a-hole. Next. I, 32 female, was close friend to my sister, 34 female, most of my life, but our adult relationship has been tough. My sister has 5 kids and her husband. The youngest was born in February of last year. I have been trying to conceive with my husband for 8 years now, and I have had fertility issues prior, but it has been heartbreaking to trying to have a baby and being unsuccessful. I'm sorry. That's probably very, very, very heartbreaking. I'm sorry. We have been open with our families about struggles, and most people are really kind and supportive, but my sister has been, I don't know how to describe it. Ever since her first pregnancy, she has told me about how she didn't want to be a mom and how she was considering abortion. I'm so sorry. That's probably so triggering. That's horrible. And every time I would support her, and then she would have her babies, and then she would admit regretting not aborting them. She would say her husband wanted the kids and she knew it would ruin their marriage. So she had them and would fake it. She never stopped confiding in me, even when I asked her to. You asked her to stop and she didn't. I told her it was a hard topic for me to be involved while I was struggling. Exactly. That is so horrible of her. She would act like I never said anything. Then a few weeks ago, my parents told me that they had saved some money for my husband and I to help us have a baby. I thanked them. They said that they hoped they would bring luck we needed. My sister was there and maybe she was jealous or something because she started joking that my husband and I just needed to have and and how easy it was to have a baby. And then she joked that I must not be a real woman if I cannot get pregnant. And that's your sister. My parents were furious and told her it was a nasty thing to say, and well, they scolded her. Then she said I would be an idiot mom. That's why the universe wouldn't give me a baby. And I might have lost it a bit and told her at least I wouldn't regret having my kids after they were born and wouldn't be thinking that I should have had an abortion when they're already living, breathing babies. She was furious. My parents were shocked. I don't know why they were shocked. This lady does not seem nice at all. And she told me an a-hole and she confided in me in confidence and I feel guilty because she did. And because I was the only person who ever knew how she felt and I lashed it out in a heat of anger. Am I the a-hole? I would consider your sister to be an a-hole, obviously. She seems like she is ignoring you. She's having some mental problems, honestly, because first of all, why are you having children even if your husband wants children? It's like you're forcing yourself and now you're regretting that you did not get an abortion while your babies are breathing and healthy. Demon. What a devil are you? Like crazy. And then you're telling your sister that is deeply trying to have a child and can't, that she's going to be a bad mother. Horrible. I think there's an update. So this came up a lot and I can't possibly to respond to everyone. I will say I appreciate the honesty and I will add it here. My sister had the kids because she's married to a man who wanted a big family. And she wanted him. And the kids were a deal breaker for him. So she just had to have them so she could keep him. There you go. She's not happy. She lied and she said she wanted them and didn't want to lose her husband and resented in every single day since. For the last 8 years, I have heard time over time that she wishes she had aborted them and had no kids and that she did it for him, but she doesn't love them. What? Take those kids away from her. I suggested she seek help before therapy or something, but she's willing to have many kids as he wants. Bye. What do you mean? That's horrible. That is actually disgusting. Disgusting human being that's not supposed to be here on this planet. Waste of freaking oxygen. What? You are definitely not the a-hole, dear. 0 out of 10 a-hole. I'm sorry that you're struggling, first of all. And your sister needs to go to therapy, mental hospital. What do you mean she's giving birth to babies that she doesn't want only to keep her husband? At first I was like icky about the title and then I read into the story and I was just so confused. I am terribly sorry that this is going on. I don't think this should be happening to anyone, honestly. Let's see what the comments say. Not the a-hole, classic case of don't dish it out if you can't take it. It was an idiot thing to say, but she knew she was saying the most cruel thing she could possibly say in the moment. Exactly. Exactly. She knew what she was saying. Nobody had a gun next to her head and asked her to say this. She knew exactly what she was saying. Not the a-hole, she clearly is not respecting you over the years, and now she's mad at you finally saying something to her. Exactly. That is horrible, especially when it comes to that being your family member. I am just so confused, you guys. Let's move on. My dad, 52 male, and my mom, 49 female, separated nearly 8 months ago due to my dad having an affair. I, 17 female, understand that my dad is in the wrong and cheating is never okay, but I've recently found out myself resenting my mom due to her reaction to the divorce. She has been putting voice recorders in all of our vehicles, including mine. There is no way to know where else these are hidden. Makes me uncomfortable to talk out loud even in my home. She has put cameras all around our house hoping to catch my dad since he was no longer allowed in our home. She even put one directly in front of my bedroom, which has not been removed even though I told her it seemed weird to me, especially since I have given her no reason not to trust me and didn't even see a purpose behind putting a camera there. Exactly. My dad had to buy a new phone so she could still log into his Apple ID and will go through it all, as well as log into his Facebook and other social medias. Her email was a recovery email for all of his passwords, seeing as my dad has never been good with technology. Even after buying a new phone, she somehow still has access to his location. But I wouldn't be surprised to find out that she had an AirTag or a tracker of some sort somewhere. She checks his location religiously and will leave it for all hours of the day to follow if she thinks he is going to meet another woman. The reason why I'm asking if I'm the a-hole is because me and my mom recently got into an argument. I have had a strained relationship with her since she found out I was gay about a year ago. But we were civil and just don't talk about it. This argument started because she was questioning me about my relationship with my girlfriend, 18 female, and trying to tell me that she wasn't good for me. I was annoyed with her because I would try not to talk to her about my girlfriend around her to avoid conflict. When she brought it up, I responded without thinking and said, I don't think you should be giving out relationship advice. She immediately started crying and saying it wasn't her fault and I shouldn't hold that over her. I left the room, but later we were watching TV and she reignited the issue by venting to me about dad and kept mentioning how he would probably marry some whore. This is so complicated and so toxic. And just foolish shit talking about my dad and saying how horrible he was to her. I know she's upset, but I wish she wouldn't vent to me about the situation because I still love my dad and I would rather not be involved. I tried to just switch the topic, but she doubled down and said it doesn't really matter who he marries. This upset her and she accused me of not caring at all that they split and told me that I was just like him and didn't have any emotions. Or probably you're too emotional, ma'am. At this point, I was angry with her and I said I would rather be like my dad than her, and I could understand why dad would want to be with someone else. Ooh, okay. Interesting. Now she's accusing me of siding with my dad and excusing his actions. That's not the thing. That's not the thing. It does sound like you are siding with your dad, so for that, you are the a-hole, but I don't think you are siding with him because he cheated. I think you are more siding with him because of the way your mom is acting. It's not about that. It's just about the way your mom is acting and pushing you away from you. So this is why you're not feeling connected to your mom and she's too full of herself. She's trying to control the whole scenario of the father looking for another woman and she is not focusing on her and herself and her child. Obviously, this is why you're probably upset with her. I mean, you are 17. You're probably just caught in a crossfire. You're not the a-hole, obviously, but you are kind of siding with your father because of this situation specific, not because he cheated. Not the a-hole. Your mom needs to vent to her friends or a therapist. She shouldn't be putting you in the middle. Exactly. I don't respect the parents or family members who put children in the middle of things. I really don't like that at all. This is something that they need to figure out on their own. Kids are not supposed to be in the middle of a situation like this, and I understand that so well. Your dad was wrong for cheating, obviously, and your mom is wrong for how she's treating you. Yes, I agree completely. I feel like your mom is just blaming you for what your father did because your father's not there right now, and she's trying to be overprotective. The whole situation just like sucks. I agree. Hope it gets better for you. I hope the same for you, OP. Not the a-hole. To be honest, I don't understand the people who voted Ish or you are the a-hole. Do they overlook that the OP was not approve of her dad cheating? OP only retaliated because of her mom's actions. Like who does put recording cameras everywhere? I agree. I don't think you are the a-hole. It's literally just a really hard situation, and you can't really know what to say at that point, especially when you are in the middle and you're put in the middle forcefully. I know this one is more of a longer videos, you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe and like this video so that you get to see me again next time. But for now, bye.